Releasing more than 40 African-American spirituals such as Swing Low, Sweet Chariot, Deep River, and Wade in the Water. Jubilee is not to be missed. October 12th through 26th at McCaw Hall. Details at seattleopera.org.
Women Empowerment Talk Radio, your roadmap to business success. Tune in every Sunday at 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, providing resources and sharing motivational experiences from the everyday entrepreneur. Tune in Women Empowerment Talk Radio every Sunday, 3 p.m. on Rainier Avenue Radio.world.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts Violetta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Wash your hands, don't touch your face, wipe the clean up your space. When you cough and sneeze, do responsibly. If you feel you're getting it, isolate at home and chill. No, you're not alone. Please pick up your phone and call 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Health 206-477-3977. King County 206-477-3977. Public Community Radio Station will provide you with more information. Say Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio. Rainier Avenue Radio. Your community radio station will provide you with more information. Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hello. Hi, I'm live. Sorry. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, y'all. And let me just say how excited I am. Today we're celebrating Labor Day. Labor Day. And I guess my question would be, what does Labor Day, what does it actually mean to you? I'm actually going to email something to my producer right now. He's like, what? Yes. So I'm going to share a couple of videos because when I think about Labor Day, I actually think about Martin Luther King Jr. And as you guys know, one of the things that I'm leading right now is called the Continuing the Dream Community Alliance. It's the MLK Community Alliance. And so when I think about Labor Day, I think about this collective voices, right? Lead to collective action. Right? Real changes happen when we do it together. So this concept of me leading something called the Better Together Empowerment Series, it's the same concept of it is so much better when we do this work together, right? So Labor Day, right? Labor Day, labor. Is it really labor? Is it really work? Is it really work when you're doing what you love? Is it really work when you're doing the work that you know is actually going to change the lives of others? I say no. People say when you do the work you love, you never work a day in your life. So I'm going to say a labor of love. That's what this is to me. When I show up for you, it is an absolute labor of love. And I do feel like there's a delay in my energy and how I'm showing up. I see a delay. Hopefully the sound is okay. Daniel, you can text me, my producer, and let me know. But listen, people, if Labor Day is about labors of love, then my question to you is, what do you love? What is the impact that you want to leave? That's really the question. What impact do you want to leave in the lives of other people? For me, I show up not only just here, but this is one of the areas where I show up because I'm like, we actually get to change lives of people. We get to show up here on Rainier Avenue Radio, and we get to hopefully put out content that people see as not only valuable, but like life-changing. I'm not trying to entertain. I'm actually trying to say, let's go on this journey together where you can truly change not only your life, but through your labors of love, change the lives of those around you. I know it sounds super simple, but it's so true. It's so true. So Daniel, I sent you a few links. Some of them include videos from MLK. So let me know when you have the first one ready. I can put it in the chat as well here for you. But what I love most about my life is that I actually do get to show up in integrity. Like I actually get to show up assuming that what we're doing is actually changing the lives of others. So if you could do nothing today but say, okay, on this Labor Day, as I reflect, tomorrow we're all going to be getting back into the routine. Hello. We're going to be jumping back into the routine. I want my routine to be a routine, a very consistent delivery of like, what can we do to actually help to excite others to believe that their lives really can change others, that it's so much better when we do it together and we can change the lives of other people. Yeah, what I love to do more than anything is help people to live powerfully. And so we talked about this initiative that we're leading. It's called the MLK Continuing the Dream. Maybe not his dream. It could just be your dream, right? The Dream Community Alliance. So it is about labors of love. It is about showing up, using that same theme, leading with love. That's really what made what MLK that he did from a labor movement perspective, right? There was all kind of stuff he did, but there was a labor movement, right? There were marches around like equity, inclusion. How do we show up and truly change the lives of others? So that's my hero when I think about all the energy that was coming their ways, all the challenges. We have challenges today, but again, and I show up in the comfort of an air-conditioned space, right? I'm not on the front lines getting chased by dogs or, they had it rough. They were getting, fire hoses on them. I consider myself courageous, but I don't even like walking when it's a light rain outside. I'm being honest. We're all spoiled. So I'm a sister girl. I'm a soldier. I'm part of the labor movement, but it's a labor of love, right? It is. Do I show up in spaces and do I do things where I know people are going to question me in some way? Absolutely. If I know it's the right thing to do. So this MLK Continuing the Dream Community Alliance, it's so much the right thing to do. And we talked about this last week. And again, I got some links in this chat for everyone to view. But, it's linked to... just heard an echo. But it's linked to... Oh, he has my videos ready. I love it. Thank you. So it's linked to... really changing the status quo. So we're going to play the first video and y'all come back and tell me what you think about this. Go ahead.
Fight passionately and unrelentingly for the goal of justice and freedom. Let's be sure that our hands are clean in the struggle. Let us never fight with falsehood and violence and hate and malice, but always fight with love, so that when the day comes that the walls of segregation have completely crumbled in Montgomery, we will be able to live with people as their brothers and sisters. Oh God, our gracious Heavenly Father, help us to see the insights that come from this new nation. Help us to follow Thee and all of Thy creative work in this world, that somehow we will discover that we are made to live together as brothers, and that it will come in this generation the day when all men will recognize the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man.
Wow. All men will recognize the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. Come on now. That's deep. When you think about this labor movement, it's like we're all in this together, right? We're all really trying to show up and do the best we can. So when you hear this, there was prayer in there. Someone will discover that we are all made to live together as brothers and sisters. Come on now. Talk about a labor movement. When you see them marching, right? You see the things. Labor movement is about kind of reflecting on those before us, those that came before us, those that struggled before us. And hopefully it's an opportunity for us to pause and say, what can I do differently? How can I show up differently? How can I show up and leave a legacy for the next generation, right? What can I possibly do to change the status quo? That's how I wake up each and every day. I don't play. I'm not playing. I didn't come here this is not a rehearsal. We get one chance at this life. And so I'm asking each of us to just think about it. How do we show up as man, right? Being able to live with our brothers and sisters. He said, always fight with love, lead with love, so that when, right? Think about the how. The how matters as much as the what. Sometimes people think it don't matter. I'm just going to show up and burn stuff down. That's not my style. My style really is to try to lead with love. Some people think I do challenge the status quo. I do. But I'm not burning stuff down, right? I'm not that extreme. I'm inviting people in to change. So this whole MLK, Martin Luther King, MLK Community Alliance, we're leading some work. There's a link there in the chat. Thank you for bringing that up, Daniel. There's a link here that allows us to really talk about this work that's coming up. It's actually, I'm going to share this. I call it the $2 billion Community Activation and Empowerment Taskforce. So we're basically saying we're showing up in equity, but we're also showing up in a way that says, what do we get to do differently? How do we show up? So there is this group called the Washington Employers for Racial Equity. They are hosting an event on the 5th Thursday of this week, and I've been talking about it for a minute. I want as many people who can show up as possible. It's like the first real kind of public thing that I've seen them do, right? They're 3 years into a 5-year commitment, and I'm saying, yes, we love it. We are with you. Power to the people. We want to support you in investing $2 billion in the Black community. $2 billion to improve the lives of Black Washingtonians. Washington Employers for Racial Equity. So it's, again, we are here with you to say my work is going to be at the grassroots level to say there's some things happening. People aren't aware of them. And there's also a gap between what you're doing and how we can actually activate. So we're saying we are a resource. We are a resource for these employers. It's all the top employers, all the Microsofts, right? The Boeings, like all of them. We'll put up a list here in a minute. But really, this is about how do we show up differently, right? And so one of the things is we're going to help this group. This is my labor movement. Let me clarify. This is how I'm showing up in community. One of the ways I'm showing up in community. They made a commitment to progress for an equitable future for Washington, right? And they were specifically focusing on, again, a commitment to $2 billion over 5 years in investing that in the Black community. And it was in all the things that's aligned with our Better Together Empowerment series. Y'all know, right? We've talked about, I'm going to remove this from the chat real quick, but we've talked about all the things, right? We've talked about improving equity, like actually improving diversity, equity, and inclusion, the culture within organizations. We talked about investing in our youth, our young people. The work I do here is about professional development, right? It's about how do we actually, pour into leaders, into professionals, into everyone in our community so we can see how do we all live powerfully. That's important work. And we also said they wanted to invest in Black businesses to improve their supplier diversity. So what you have that's happening on the 5th, this Thursday, at the Microsoft Convention Center, you do need to be registered. So you can go to this website, and I'll have Daniel, my editor, I'll have him, my producer rather, I'll have him put the links in the chat. We can do it together. I'll let you do it first. But it's really important that we actually show up, that we actually remember this is what success looks like. I'm gonna put all these 4 main links in the chat right now. I'm gonna put them all as one. So it's gonna include several things. And let me know when you're ready for the economic empowerment video by MLK. But I'm gonna go ahead and put these links in there because this is like real stuff, right? This is like, how do we really show up in equity? Okay, here we go. So I'm going to put this in the comments in the chat. This is all the stuff. Let's see if that goes through. Voila. There you go. The first link is, it's just the high level link to Washington employers. And then it's the number 4 equity.org. That's how you get to their website. Then there's a link to some research that they did. They did a 14-page research document telling us what we already know, but it was good to be done, right? Employers4equity.org. When you go to that website, you will see information about an upcoming supplier diversity conference, right? We said this is about getting better together, getting healthier, happier, wealthier, and wiser. This is the wealthier part, right? This is how we get wealthier. You have $2 billion being invested in the Black community, right? And so we're saying we're going to be part of the community that's going to show up lovingly. You see how I started with love? I don't want anyone to think we're like burning something. We're not. We're saying thank you. We're excited about this opportunity. Do we believe that that we can increase the urgency? Absolutely. The transparency? Absolutely. All the things. The clarity? Absolutely. That's how we're going to show up and support this organization. It's being led. The ED is a Black woman, so we're going to do all we can to support this Black woman who don't have enough resources to do what she was set to do. So she's working with the corporations, and we're saying we're going to help you at the roots level, the grassroots level, support individuals, businesses, and youth. They want to increase the number of paid opportunities for our young Black youth as well. We want that as well. So we need to know, when are they, where are they, what are the requirements? Like, we all got young people in our families, and we want to we got to actually do a different level of amplification and activation within our community. So that's where this whole MLK, that's kind of where we're going. We're not leaving any of these dollars on the table. We're not leaving any of these investments in our community. We want to know what they are and when they are and where they are, right? So if I go back to this document, actually, I'll come back. I think we're going to, yes, I think we have a video he wants to share. So we're going to share another video. And this particular video is going to be about economic empowerment. Okay.
Also realize that the problems of racial injustice and economic injustice cannot be solved without a radical redistribution of political and economic power. We read one day, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But if a man doesn't have a job or an income, he has neither life nor liberty and the possibility for the pursuit of happiness. He merely exists. Now we are dealing with issues that cannot be solved without the nation spending billions of dollars and undergoing a radical redistribution of economic power. What is new is that we now have the techniques and the resources to get rid of poverty. The real question is whether we have the will. I come here tonight and plead with you. Believe in yourself and believe that you're somebody.
Wow. Yeah, I love King so much. Several of the things he said, did you hear that? He talked about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It all sounds good. But if people don't have economic resources, a job, the right job, a job that actually meets their needs, right, that fulfills them, we're merely existing. It's about living your best life. So the labor movement, I mean, it was deep. He said, we have the way. He talked about a distribution of resources. These guys are saying, hey, we want to distribute $2 billion into Black Washingtonians, the lives of Black Washingtonians. We're saying, great, this can't happen in isolation. It can't happen in silos. We need to, you're 3 years into that 5-year commitment, and I can tell you, 9 out of 10 Black people don't know anything about what W.E.R.E is. Tenable. That's not how we want to move forward. So we want to support you lovingly. Again, leading with love. This is not a problem. We're here to support you. We're here to support W.E.R.E with the goals. And I actually had the director of W.E.R.E, the first director of W.E.R.E, and I've actually worked with the second director of W.E.R.E. Again, we all got different priorities. Mine is around urgency, awareness, action, and accountability. Urgency, transparency, and clarity. That's what I want for our Black community, right? For the people who we're trying to serve. And I know we have a wonderful ED who has some other priorities and some other challenges that she's dealing with. And it ain't us. It is not at the level of what are you individuals doing? Where are you at? She's working with the organizations, right? And she barely has enough resources to do that. So we're supporting you, Sherline Wilson. We are with you 100%. We're going to do what we can to help you get as many resources as possible. But we're also saying there's work that needs to happen. There's some good stuff happening. We need a freeway that actually gets those dollars, gets those resources, get those programs, gets that information to the Black community in a way that we can actually leverage it. So that's what the labor movement is to me. Power to the people, lovingly. This is how I'm leading with love. I don't listen, when my day come, I want y'all to be like, Traci showed up for community on a regular. On a regular. I'm talking out loud. I hope you're adjusting the volume, Daniel. Are you? Are you helping me out, Daniel? I have a producer who's like, yes, when you're up, I know how to adjust the volume. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I could not be more excited to do this work. I couldn't be more excited to be a part of Rainier Avenue Radio. I could not be more excited to be a part of the Tacoma-Pierce County Black Collective. I'm the economic development co-chair. So I'm like, hey guys, we don't have to be silent. The labor movement was a collective movement. It was really about us showing up. And what I love about this is what MLK said. He said, we have the way. The real question is, do we have the will? I'm all loud. Do we have the will? Do we have the will to show up for each other? Do we have the will to challenge the status quo? Right? Do we have the will? Are we willing to ask the questions? I'm just asking questions, and I'm offering my services for free. I do this all the time. People always ask me, why do you offer your services for free? Because at this point, I believe this is a divine mission for me, right? This is a journey. Like I show up here. I'm not getting compensated for this. I'm not. I'm putting this out into the community because I know it's the right thing to do, right? They play this multiple times during the week. It'll be played again. What is it? Monday today. It'll be played again on Wednesday and Friday. Like, look, we got to show up. My goal is to make sure that we are, as a community, getting all that is possible. All that is possible. So the labor movement for me, this really is a labor of love. He said, we have the way. The real question is, do we have the will? I got the will. And I know many of you do too, right? You're showing up. Oh my goodness. There's another video I know we have. And then we got some videos from Dr. Carter too. So go ahead and show our third video from MLK.
We don't have to argue with anybody. We don't have to curse and go around acting bad with our words. We don't need any bricks and bottles. We don't need any Molotov cocktails. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country and say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. And not only that, we've got to strengthen black institutions. You have 6 or 7 black insurance companies here in the city of Memphis. Take out your insurance there. We want to have an insurance in. Now, these are some practical things that we can do. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. And I ask you to follow through here.
Wow. That was so good. He said, we don't have to argue. Sorry, that is so good. He said, we don't have to argue or act bad with our words. We don't need any bricks or bottles. We don't need any negative energy. We just need to go around to these massive industries, be willing to have these conversations with the big companies. That's what we're doing. Say, oh, Dr. Carter, how are you doing? Is that Dr. Carter video? Oh, it's Dr. Carter video. I thought he was live. I got excited for a second. Oh my goodness. That is so good. So I got excited there. So but what MLK said is we don't need any we don't need to argue, we don't need to act bad. That's why he said leave with love. He's just clarifying. All we need to do is just go to these massive industries and say, God sent us. I say this is a labor of love for me. Today's Labor Day. What is your labor of love? How do you want to show up in community? Right? Say God sent us, and you aren't treating his people right. Call it out. Call it out lovingly. Call it out. It's okay for us to say, hey, hi. Collective voices. Right? Create collective action. That's what this labor movement has kind of motivated in me today. A lot of people took the day off and they were, reflecting. I want us to reflect on what you can do differently today and every day. We had a session on the not September, it must have been August 16th. And it was with Dr. Linda Smith and Reverend Dr. Leslie Braxton from my church, New Beginnings Christian Fellowship. And then Dr. Linda, who is the pastor of the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Baptist Church. She's co-leading this MLK, continuing the dream, people. Community Alliance. We got to show up in excellence. We got to show up saying, hey, hi. I'm very optimistic. My pastor was like, well, we got to ask some questions. Yes. And we're all optimistic. And it's okay to ask questions too, right? It's okay to ask questions about how can we support you in achieving your goals? If you have a $2 billion commitment to community, by the way, I have multiple hats on. My head is big enough for multiple hats. It is. The other hat that I'm wearing is NAACP, and I'm relatively new. I have to admit, I'm relatively new to the NAACP, but I am the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Chair for the Seattle King County branch of the NAACP. Right? I'm the immediate past president also of the National Black MBA Association, MBA for Masters in Business Administration. So when I talk about this MLK Community Alliance, this Continuing the Dream Community Alliance, I'm bringing all the NAACPs together. I'm like, hey, no better voice than to advocate for our people than the NAACP. To lovingly say, how do we want to get information to our people? This is one way we do it. Collective action leads to collective voices lead to collective progress. That is how we change the status quo. And we can still lead with love. People like, Traci, you're so positive and so optimistic. Girl, wake up. I promise you, I'm as wake as they come. Woke. And what I'm woke to is to believe that we can make a difference. Like, I know for a fact we can make a difference. Right? What you believe you can achieve. We've seen it done. We have enough positive people that aren't burning stuff down. Again, that is not my style. That is not my energy. We can identify what the challenges are and identify how can we change the status quo. So we have another wonderful video that we're going to share from, I said, I'm immediate past president of the National Black MBA Association. We actually have a video from Dr. James Carter, who is the current president of the National Black MBA Association. So we're going to share a quick video by Dr. James Carter.
And accountability. We cannot expect others to come into the community and do the work that needs to be done that we should be doing. We need to show action, and we show action by showing up. and participating. We show action by cooperating, not just with the employment places where we work, but then also with other community-based organizations that are looking to work with people who are doing similar work. Again, divided, we are easily conquered, but the opportunity for us to join together to work towards a common goal makes it a lot easier. The last thing that we want to do is to try to reinvent the wheel, especially if there are 3 or 4 organizations that are trying to do the same work. Let's join together and get the work done. Accountability, it means that you are going to be accountable not just for the things that you say that you want to see change. You're going to be accountable for actually helping those things to get changed. And that might mean having to take an hour or 2 after work, maybe a half hour before work, or some time during your lunch break to actually focus and concentrate on the things that need to be done or the direction that needs to be put together for us to heal the community, for us to move forward, for us to take positive steps in a positive direction. Action and accountability is what we need in the community.
Wow. That was so good. I love him. Y'all, if you don't know Dr. James Carter, he's lovely. He said, divided, we are easily conquered. Together, we can thrive. He said, we don't want to recreate the wheel. Together, when we're accountable for changing things, that means we might need to invest some time, take positive action, and we take accountability for moving in the right direction. I love that, right? You can't be more clear. We get to take responsibility for how we show up. Dr. Carter's talking about awareness, action, and accountability, my 3 favorite A's. That was his take on those words, right? Awareness. We need to communicate. We need to talk in the organizations that we're a part of. We need to talk. We need to communicate. We need to, make sure we elevate these conversations. But he also said we got to take action. Like, we got to be the ones. We can't expect someone else to do it if we're not. Right? You don't see me talking about what needs to be done if I'm not also doing something. Right? There's a lot of things that need to be done, but what are we all doing to move things in the right direction? So thank you, Dr. Carter, for that particular sharing, that message. It looks like, we got to take a break, don't we? I'm sorry, private chat. Yeah, it's time for a break. Join us. We'll be back for Rainier Avenue Radio. Thank you.
Rainier Avenue Radio.
Hey renters, have you ever had a landlord do something that didn't seem legal? Have you ever wondered if you have any rights as a renter? Well, you do, but it's not always clear what they are. That's why Solid Grounds Tenant Services offers free online renters webinars 3 times a month. Just go to solid-ground.org/RAR to learn more. This is a free opportunity to learn more about your rights as a renter. Again, just go to solid-ground.org/RAR.
This is Big Poppy, host of Jazz from the Cabinets. Join me each week for a listening tour of the first century of jazz, an eclectic mix of Dixieland, big band, cool jazz, bebop, contemporary jazz, world jazz, all jazz in all forms. That's Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy on Rainier Avenue Radio, streaming worldwide on rainieravenueradio.world.
Rainier Avenue Radio presents All Music, All Day Saturday. Music, all day Saturday.
This is Edward Bailey, Bulldog Blue.
Jazz from the Cabinets.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets. Big Poppy.
Start time.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul. Here's Start Time.
Saturdays, all music, all day. Reggae Hour, K-Fox Night.
Looking for the perfect beat? Yeah, it's the beat of the bar.
Fresh Juice, D-Money in the
Myself to the money. Pint size.
Sincere, the Northwest Rap Gang.
DJ Medina, Jackson, North
West Rat.
Sergio Lacour's Love Line.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio Lacour. Go to the phone line. Tell him who we talking.
Sea Monster Radio. Mojang. It's your day.
Welcome to Mojo Mondays. This is KZ of KZ Music Media. Caller Goddess for Mojo Mondays.
Just my God is inspiration all day and all night. Saturday. Rainier Avenue Radio App.
Support for Rainier Avenue Radio comes from Friends of Waterfront Park, announcing their 2024 season of free events and programs at Pier 62, the first part of Seattle's premier downtown waterfront park to open to the public. Come for free events and programs, including fitness and wellness classes throughout the summer, weekly spotlight performances on Thursday evenings, cultural festivals, daily amenities, games, and more. To learn more, go to waterfrontparkseattle.org.
Here with the Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update. You can listen to us in your car 24/7 anytime by downloading the free TuneIn app. Once you do, search Rainier Avenue Radio. And remember, do not curse out your fellow drivers. This has been your Rainier Avenue Radio traffic update.
Hey, y'all. This is Dr. Traci Harrell, and we're back on Rainier Avenue Radio, and today is Labor Day. And so I was talking about these labors of love, and this is truly a labor of love for me, showing up here for you, better together and living powerfully, focus on the Better Together, this empowerment series, but really also thinking about how do we live powerfully, right? Getting better together, right? This concept of getting healthier, happier, wealthier, and wiser. And so today we're talking about the getting wealthier part of it, right? In a very, in intentional way, which basically allows us to share who we are and why we do what we do. We have a video. I know another video we want to share from Dr. Carter. I'm gonna have you go ahead and play that. And then I have a video. I'm gonna try to share my screen. Let's see if technology allows us to do that. So let's hear from Dr. Carter one more time.
Committed to advocating for public policies that will advance racial equity in the state. But we need you. We need you to participate. We need for you to take action. We need for you to hold our feet to the fire to make sure that we are doing the things that we say that we're going to do to enhance our community. We want to be transparent. We want to be accountable, and we want to show that action. But most importantly, we want you to join us and help us maintain that sense of urgency to keep taking positive steps in a positive direction.
All right. He's very clear. Positive steps in the right direction, in a positive direction. I love that. So y'all, I'm gonna put the link to the chat. This is what we want you to sorry, that's the same link I put in before. Sorry, I gotta go get this other link. Sorry. We want here you go. We want to it's to register for the 2024 W.E.R.E Supplier Diversity Conference. It's this Thursday, September 5th. It's from 8 a.m. to 5:30. It's at the Microsoft Conference Center. I may need you to guide me and lead me here. I'm going to try this one more time. If not, I'm going to put it in let's see if this works. Oh, I think that works. Okay, there we go. So you can see a link right here to get to the, it says, please register for the W.E.R.E 2024 Supplier Diversity Conference. It is this Thursday, September 5th. We've been sharing it pretty broadly. We got to show up, right? We got to show up. I can't guarantee that there's an agenda of what they're going to talk about, but we also want to use part of this time to make our voices heard as well. Again, collective voices, get collective action. And so I'm going to be emailing Craig Dawson tonight. I've already communicated and emailed with Sherline. She's so busy getting it together. She really can't focus on us as community, but we obviously need focus too. So we're going to support her by showing up in community, bringing our voices so that we basically support her, support the work that she's doing in supporting us, right? So it's like, let me help you help us to make sure this $2 billion is actually, activated in community in a way that we can truly take advantage of it, right? Again, we want to lovingly lovingly be a resource and lovingly support this work and lovingly, again, leading with love. MLK said, always lead with love. These are your brothers and your sisters, so always lead with love. And I don't think, help me if I'm wrong, but I don't think us saying we want more urgency, clarity, and transparency, that's not leading with love. Like some people are gonna, I've literally had people grip their pearls and run away. Oops, help, Tracy's not for us. Listen, I promise you, asking for urgency on something that is clearly urgent is my way of leaning into community. That's my labor movement. I really can't do much more than that. But I am as deeply engaged in this work as anyone else, right? Again, I've been asked to do this work with multiple hats on, saying, how do we do this better? So I'm showing up in community, but I'm also showing up in love. I'm not a problem, right? But I am a question. I am asking the questions, and I am a resource. I'm not asking you to do the work for me that I think that I can't do for myself, right? So one of the things that happened, FYI, with this diversity conference, we put the diversity conference out there. We said, hey, there's a supplier diversity conference happening. And one of the things they asked for was for people, businesses, Black businesses, to document their capability statement, to basically say, here's what I do. So at least to give us a couple of lines about what you do. But then they said, can you also email? Can you email a capability statement? Some of the Black businesses that I know of that are popular, been around for 20 years, were like, what's a capability statement? And I'm like, see, that right there is why we have to have another level of implementation, right? We have to have another level of activation in order for our people to be in a position to quickly take advantage of these opportunities. I wrote a PowerPoint presentation. Let me see if I can upload this for you. I wrote 3 actually, PowerPoint presentations on capability statement. This is the second one. It's not my favorite, but we're going to go with this one. We're going to go with this one anyway. Because we're like, what is a capability statement, right? I pulled it together. I actually help people with telling their story. So what a capability statement is, it's basically a resume for your business. You're telling things like, let's see if I can get my screen to share real quick. Let's see what StreamYard is going to allow me to do. Actually, I have a producer, Daniel. I'm going to email you this presentation and have you share it. Yay, that's fun. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So while I share this with him, I obviously know what a capability statement is. I've helped people for years pull this together. So I'm going to talk about it as I send this to Daniel, and then we'll pull this together for you all. Hopefully he'll be able to put a link in the chat for you as well. So Daniel, if you could share this for us, I would be forever grateful. You're my hero. Thank you, sir. Here you go. Insert. Okay. So capability statement is basically, there we go. Yay. Okay, you should have it. It's a resume for your business. So you're able to talk about things like, and again, I do have basic StreamYard skills. So let's just see if when I go to present, share screen, Daniel, talk to me, darling, if I'm doing this correctly. Okay, it's happening. Am I sharing my PowerPoint? Yay. Am I sharing? Is it being shared? Because I'm on the screen. That means I can't see. So it looks like I'm sharing. Verbal affirmation, please. Okay. So I'm assuming I'm sharing because I can't go back to the other screen because I'm sharing. So this says, what is a capability statement? Right? It's a document that outlines your business's expertise and your capabilities. Daniel, darling, I need you to speak. Am I sharing my screen? Yes or no? Okay, I'm going to have to escape because I can't hear him. I guess I am. Okay, great. Yay. Okay, I'll go back. Just making sure I provide excellence to my people. Okay, so here's a capability statement, right? So why is this important? Why is a capability statement important, right? If you're going to get to showcase your wins. You want to impress potential clients, impress potential investors. It's going to build your business's credibility as well. So you might be thinking, why do I need a capability statement? It's going to highlight your unique value as well, your strengths and your differentiators. You can explain why are you the best choice, because people get to choose how they spend their dollars, right? So in addition to building trust with potential partners, with potential clients, with potential investors, it's a beautiful way to just share who you are and what you do. So you might be asking, what is a capability statement? What are the key components? 4 main things, right? What is your company overview? So you want to share, and if you don't have all these things, I actually helped about 6 or 7 people just in one day with their capability statement. This was after I presented at the Tacoma Pierce County Black Collective. And I was like, call me if you need some help. And people were like, help. I was like, I got you. So I literally pulled this together in no time. And I got, help people. And if you have a website, or if you're in business, you can answer some of these questions. You don't have to answer them all. So just don't be overwhelmed. Anything. It's a 1-pager. So anything about your business's mission, your values, your vision, any of that, or just describe your company. Who am I? What's your size? Anything about your history? Just some type of company overview. Not all of it. Don't be overwhelmed. Just anything. And then what are your core competencies? What are your core capabilities? What are the strengths and expertise that you bring to the table? You're going to describe your service or your product and say, hey, right? Whatever skills and capabilities, my friend Cassandra, who we have a video with her here momentarily, her company's called Love by the Slice. Hopefully I'll get to show that video as well here in 1 second, but core competencies, right? Then you're going to talk about your past performance. So some of the clients you've had, some of the contracts you've had, some of the ways you've been successful, and then differentiators, like what differentiates you. Debrina does a course called Hitting the Bullseye. Debrina Jackson Gandy, my coach, my mentor, my friend. But she talks about differentiators. So basically, what makes your offerings better than someone else? So you want to describe your unique selling propositions, your innovative approach, whatever kind of technology you use, whatever, like this is kind of how you differentiate. So a capability statement is really doing these things. So this is a little bit more about your overview. Again, whatever you want to do to share your organization, your expertise. Hey, I have a proven track record. I have industry knowledge. Here's my value proposition, any of that kind of stuff, right? When you talk about your past performance, you can say, here's a project I've done. Here's a client satisfaction, some testimonials. Here's a case study. Here's some relationships. Here's some, contacts and names. I have Microsoft, IBM, Disney. I showed up in excellence in those companies, right? Like they still using my stuff. So I know I can be like, hey, here you go, right? Here's what I did. And I have clients as well that I'm working with right now. So it's important to be able to talk about what you've done. Differentiators, again, unique selling propositions, any testimonials you have, anything that makes you unique, certifications, licenses, client lists. If you want to list some names of people that you've worked with, that obviously builds credibility as well, right? Any awards that you've gotten, recognition. Did I mention that I received the President's Lifetime Achievement Award for service? Yes, that's important. That's a differentiator. Listen, I'm showing up in equity, in excellence, right? Equity is important to me, but so is showing up in courage, right? Like I'm good. I can't be bought. I can't. I'm gonna be the truth. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be loving. I'm gonna be kind. I'm gonna support you. But right, like my integrity is not in question. Okay. These company codes are some different things you can identify. Industry codes, there's NAICS codes, right? Being able to identify like what do you do in a way that's really easy for organizations and businesses to say, yep, I need that service or that particular opportunity. So just real high level, your capability statement is going to have like an executive summary at the top, your company overview, some core competencies, some reference to your past performance, something about your differentiators, and then hopefully something that talks about, some clear way so it's well structured and easy. Formatting is important. So you want it to be professional. You want it to be easy to read, colorful. Obviously your logo should be on it. So it's pretty simple. You want to make sure you're clear. Who is your target audience? Choose your format, whatever that looks like. There's 1,000 different formats. You can go into Canva and go online, right? And just pull something up pretty simple. The content should be compelling. No one can tell your story better than you, right? And then you want to make sure there are no errors in it. So simple. You don't have to have all the things. Don't go do a whole lot of work. for this event that's happening on Thursday, definitely don't go with a lot of work, but bring a capability statement. Like, come with something in hand so you're able to say, bam, right? When they're like, do you have a capability statement? Don't come empty-handed if you can. If it's possible, don't come empty-handed, right? So this is just another view of like gathering the necessary information, your company, whatever you got. Like, don't not do it because you don't have all this stuff. If you got your company overview and that's the whole page, bam, done. Here's my capability statement, right? Here's what I do. Bring what you got and then continue to build on it. This is V1 of your capability statement, and then you can continue to work on that. And yes, I can help people. This is the kind of stuff I don't do for free. I did do it for free, but I'm not going to continue to do deep work like this for free. But I have, and I did. Like I said, I just helped 5 or 6 people. And yes, if you need help, of course I'm going to help you because that's who I am. But anyway, like I said, this is about, or I would direct you to some good resources as well. That's another thing I can do. So when you think about your capability statement, you want to be your own, critic, right? You want to just read it, give yourself a critical eye. Seek feedback from other people if possible, and just proofread it. Proofread it rather. Make sure there are no errors. That's my big, win. And then you want to get it out. You can email it. You can put it on your website. You can share it on LinkedIn. You're going to have it for this networking event, which it says handout in person. So how can you use it? It's a document. It's like your little business's resume. So you definitely have multiple ways that you can use it. And that is it. Oh, I think I shared well. Let's see if I can stop now. Let's see if I can get back to StreamYard. Daniel, help me out. Oh, there we are. Is that StreamYard? Yay! Back to StreamYard. Okay. So I'll stop sharing. Have I stopped sharing? Thank you very much. I need help. Okay. The other thing we have for you all is, how much time do I have? I have 20 minutes. Okay, can I share another video? Can I share a video? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I think my screen is up. I'm going to see if I can share. I feel like I'm This is really good, y'all. This is one of my besties, Cassandra Williams. She's amazing, and we're going to share this video really quickly. I'm going to, it says stop screen. Oh, am I sharing right now? Am I still sharing? Okay, I'm gonna do this again. Share screen. Okay. My Zoom recordings. I think this is it. Bam. Yes. Oh, this is it. Oh, this is gonna be it. Share. Okay, I think this is it. Yay! I'm gonna play. Tell me if you can hear the sounds.
How are you?
Excellent. So you signed up for this W.E.R.E Supplier Diversity Conference, right?
Yeah, so Dr. Traci, I did register. However, I need to know a little bit more about the work. And I want to understand the coalition of companies that have come together. So just tell me a little bit more about this, because I want to really have a good understanding of what to expect when I go to this conference.
Thank you. I'm glad you asked.
Yes.
So W.E.R.E stands for Washington Employers for Racial Equity. So it's the acronym W.E.R.E, W.E.R.E. And they've identified a commitment to progress. Literally, their goal is an equitable future for Washington. It goes even deeper. It's an equitable future for Black Washingtonians, which is a beautiful thing. This is their website, Employers for Equity. .org, and it looks like I need to turn my charger on, which is right here. Excuse me. And so their goal is super simple. They say they want to, it's a coalition of employers across Washington state that's committed to supporting Black Washingtonians and building a future in equity for all. It's a beautiful thing. And they
yes, it is.
They think that their commitment to advocacy will begin in the workplace.
Okay.
They started with some research telling us what we already know, but the research is also on their website. You can download it. It's a 14-page document. And they said they listened, they learned, they had a a whole series of areas that they looked at, but across all aspects of life. The findings are not new. I love that they're saying that. We just are reconfirming that Black Washingtonians experience inequities, racial inequities in multiple facets of life across all areas of life, including the workplace. So you're not surprised by that as a Black woman with grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Right. So
absolutely.
You had asked me a question. When you see something like that, you're like, okay, so what are your thoughts when you think about, okay, research is done. I'm glad they now agree with what we already know. Right.
Well, I think it is very courageous for the business community, the corporate community to come together and substantiate and bring data to the table around the claims that have been made by our community for hundreds of years. And so it's exciting to see that companies are coming together to do something. We just heard this speech a couple of days ago where Michelle Obama said it's time for us to do something. So I'm excited to hear that there are people coming together, recognizing their part in this issue, and are working to do positive things to move us forward. So I'm really interested in who are the players, who are the players here.
Oh, I'm glad you asked. So the next thing on their website is the coalition. This was the original coalition. I think it was 80 to 100 of the top employers. You can see Alaska Airlines, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Boeing, Costco, Expedia, small and large, Kaiser, KeyBank, Microsoft, Nordstrom, all the big players, Puget Sound.
Also, Premier, Blue Cross, yes, Russell Investments, wonderful. The Seattle Kraken, okay,
Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Mariners,
Seattle
Sounders,
University,
right? Seattle Storm,
yes.
T-Mobile, Vulcan, Virginia Mason, Washington Trust Bank, et cetera, Zillow, et cetera. So, a solid group of top employers. I'm not sure if all these employers are still part of the coalition, but this is how it started.
Okay.
And then what I love about this is they have this simple commitment to progress. And this I love because it's a one-pager. Anybody can digest what's the story, right?
Absolutely.
And so they start by saying, we believe that all Washingtonians must have the same opportunities, free from the barriers of racism. Windows is trying to do some shenanigans. Do you see that Windows thing popping up?
I do.
Yikes. Let's see if I can close it down. Windows wants to do some things here. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. So our commitment to progress is really simple. They're saying, all Washingtonians should have the same opportunities. And they believe that the private sector has a vital role to play in creating lasting change in support of racial equity for Black Washingtonians. Just like you're excited, you're confident, I'm excited and confident, and positive, right? They believe that racial equity is achievable, right? And so what they said is this coalition of employers have made various commitments, and they want to build on what we already know. And down here, they said they're going to listen and learn from those with lived experiences and partner with business and community leaders, advocates, and other stakeholders working to racial equity in our state. And they said they will remain steadfast in their commitment. Their commitment is simple, right? And so if you look at these bullets, they said they commit to driving racial equity in the private sector collectively. Over the next 10 years, they're going to be tracking this. But what they committed to is to set a goal for the coalition members. The investment in this will be $2 billion over 5 years. So their 5-year commitment, we're 3 years into that 5-year commitment. And so the areas that they said they wanted to focus on were fostering an inclusive culture, making sure the workforce reflects our communities. But the truth is, I'm gonna go all the way down to the second bullet from the bottom, the one that you're most interested in. We want to increase diversity and racial equity among contractors, vendors, and our supplier networks. We want to increase our investment in Black-owned businesses. So when I got super excited, Oh, I'm getting the music. Hold on, let me pause. I'm getting the music. Okay, y'all. Happy Labor Day. That was a little taste of what we're doing to really transition for Labor Day. So again, join us on this Thursday, September 5th at the W.E.R.E 2024 Supplier Diversity Conference. And then join us back here next week on Rainier Avenue Radio as we will continue the MLK Continuing the Dream Community Alliance and the $2 billion W.E.R.E Community Activation and Empowerment Taskforce. So join us right here. Next is Lindline Sports. Thanks.